Hey folks, hello again. We're here at our PPOA Podcast, and today we have a very special guest, Justin Feldman. Justin is the head of his practice group, which is civil litigation, and thank you for joining us today, Justin.
It's my pleasure, Steve.
Okay. And tell us a little bit about your firm and how did you come to get involved as a civil attorney?
Sure. So, as you said, I'm a senior partner at Marenstein, Wicke, Sherwin Lee. I've been at the firm now for almost 20 years. I started off actually trying to become a deputy district attorney. I went to Loyola Law School. I worked at the LA County District Attorney's Office as an extern, meaning for school credit, while I was in law school, and was most of the way through the application process back in the Gil Garcetti days, but there were some budgetary problems. It turned out there was a 3-year hiring freeze instituted right when I was applying, so I ended up going the civil route.
I know you talked about the DA's office and you externed for LA County District Attorney, is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, what was that like? What was that involved? What's an extern?
So an extern is like a law clerk, but instead of getting paid money, I got school credit. So I worked in environmental OSHA, and I ended up assisting the district attorneys, the deputy district attorneys, and the district attorney investigators in putting together cases. I sent letters on cases. I got to attend hearings and participate in hearings as a supervised law clerk. So I was involved in the Paradise Cove litigation in Malibu back in 1998, 1999 when I was at the DA's office, and I assisted in the workup of that case.
Wow. Now, with regard to your law firm, is it mostly public safety, or do you do other types of groups, or is it predominantly public safety?
So the firm's been around now for 54 years, and we dedicate ourselves to public safety. Our clients are police or fire, or family members or friends of police or fire, for the most part. We do some civilian work, but most of it is public safety. We have 3 departments: workers' compensation, disability pension, and civil personal injury, which is the department that I had.
And with regard to your department, like what drew you to that specifically?
When I knew I couldn't practice as a deputy district attorney because of the hiring freeze, I sought out a job in civil litigation. I spent some time defending medical malpractice cases. I went over to defend tire failure cases for tire companies, and saw a blind ad to apply for a plaintiff's attorney's position, which is something that I was interested in doing, and it was closer to my house, so I made the application. I didn't know where I was going, but as soon as I got to Marenstein, I decided that was a place that I absolutely had to work. I've had friends in law enforcement my entire life. This was my way of supporting the law enforcement community more broadly. I knew I had talents in this area, and this is where I chose to focus.
Yeah, it's almost kind of like a perfect mix of things that you're good at, things that you enjoy, and then a group of people, i.e. public safety, fire, police, that you also enjoy working with. Kind of everything kind of fell together. Yeah.
It did, because not only do I love what I do, but I'm very passionate about for whom I do it. Right. In fact, that's one of the things that I'm very proud of about our firm. We are a group of people who I believe are excellent at what we do, and every single one of us is passionate about our client base. You have to be to do your best.
I know, like with regard to your firm, you've been a huge supporter, ally, friend of our association for to my knowledge more than 30 years. In that time frame, even since you've been practicing, can you talk about any significant cases, without giving too much details, or accomplishments that you're actually particularly proud of?
I was involved in a case that just resolved for upwards of $30 million. I've had cases that resolve for $5,000 or $6,000, and everything in between, depending on the facts of the case, the money available, the insurance available on the other side. I'm proud of every single one of those because I know I've done everything I can for my client. What I would really focus on is the advice I give my clients in terms of their own insurance. And this is important because a lot of people don't know that when they buy an insurance policy, an auto insurance policy, let's say, that policy, if it has uninsured or underinsured motorist coverage, in California they're one and the same, that you can't have one without the other, it covers you at work in a county car or on a county motorcycle. And that coverage can be a lifesaver.
And that's really interesting because I'm not sure many of our members knew that. I personally didn't know that until you made me aware.
Well, and a lot of people don't.
That's pretty interesting, and I guess that leads me to my next question. When, obviously, I think our members know that when they're involved with any type of work injury, probably a primary step would be to contact an attorney such as yourself. But in that process, is there something that, if you had to like tell a member, make sure before or even after you call me, what's something that people often forget to do, don't want to do, or neglect doing?
Sure, and there's a few things. Number one, again, I'm going to circle back and say, please start by buying this uninsured, underinsured motorist coverage. It's the only step you can take to protect yourself from other drivers out there. If you think about the number of traffic stops you've made where somebody can't produce insurance, or they do produce an insurance card and your intuition says, I bet this guy didn't pay his bill or the policy has lapsed, those drivers are out there. And with higher insurance rates and higher limit requirements now, there's more of those drivers out there.
Right.
So I would say do that. Aside from the coverage, it's make sure you're honest with your doctors. Far too many times I get a case where somebody comes to me a year after their crash and they tell me about how bad their injuries are, but they tell me, I was up for promotion, or I didn't want to lose my position, or I just wanted to get back to work because my kids were driving me crazy, my wife was driving, whatever it is, I had to get out of my house and go back to work. I'm antsy, I want to get out there and help the public. So I told my doctors I was doing fine when I really wasn't. So they discharged me from care and I've been now working, but now I want somebody to look at my case. The problem is, for a year you've been telling your doctors you're fine. That's very hard to rescue when it comes to a civil case, because a defense adjuster, a defense lawyer, a juror is going to see and hear what you said in your medical records, and they're going to say, so, you told everybody under the sun that you were fine. Now you're telling us you're not, and you want us to give you money. That doesn't work. So I would say make sure you are honest about your medical condition. Don't exaggerate, don't make it up, but be straightforward about it. The next thing is, when you are straightforward about it and your doctor recommends treatment, treat. Don't skip the treatment. Don't say, I wanted to get back to work, so I don't have the time. I'm busy, I wanted to work the overtime shift, nobody can see me. Make the time. Because if you don't make the time to treat, even if you're honest with your doctors about your symptoms, the argument is always, if you hurt that bad, you would have followed the recommendations of your doctor and you would have gone and treated. And if you're not treating, those cases tend to be very difficult, and they don't result in getting the type of award that the injured officer or deputy deserves.
Why do you think some members are hesitant to pursue these types of claims? Is it that they feel that it's like a lawsuit? Are these considered benefits? Are they entitlement? Either neglect or resist the monies that are provided. Can you talk a little bit about why that would be?
Sure, and I see it all the time. I have these discussions with people. I have people who call me who are on the fence. Hey, I have this injury, I was in this bad crash, I'm not in a good place physically, but I'm not litigious. I'm not the guy to go out and hire a lawyer and sue. I don't want to make the claim. Or on the workers' comp side, I hear, the county's always been good to me, so I don't want to take money from the county. And we have the conversation about how they're good to you until you're injured, then you're a file number. You don't have to pursue any of these rights or benefits, but these benefits and rights are there for you.
So there shouldn't be any type of guilt or angst about pursuing these resources that are actually there for us when we get injured.
No, not at all. The law is there to protect you,
right,
and provide these benefits to you. Our job, my goal is not to get you money you don't deserve. My goal is to get you everything you do deserve based upon your injury, to make your life as whole as I can, outside of going back in time and undoing the crash or the incident that you were involved in that caused the injury.
Okay. I guess segueing, kind of getting it kind of more on the personal front, your job sounds completely, I don't know, stressful is the good word, but there's a lot of layers to what you do. How do you decompress, or what's a fun thing that you do that people may not know that you do?
Yeah, I decompress in a lot of ways, but one of the things that I do is I'm an instrument rated pilot.
Okay.
I enjoy flying. I'm a little bit rusty. It's been a few years actually. I got so busy I stopped, but I'm going to go back and continue doing what I was doing. I have over 800 hours of flight time, high performance, high altitude. I've done spin training, aerobatic work. It's something that I really have enjoyed my entire life.
You didn't fly out here to Popa, did you?
I did not.
Okay.
I drove.
You drove, okay.
And in traffic, it was anything but flying. I
Okay.
promise.
Right.
But that's a great way for me to focus my mental energies, my mental energy in other places.
Yeah, that's pretty fascinating. I don't meet too many instrument-rated pilots in our line, but that's pretty impressive. And Justin, I guess in closing, is there anything that you'd like to just express to the members, or to anything that you feel like maybe you don't want to say on behalf of what you do and who you represent?
What I would say is, if you are involved, unfortunate enough to be involved in any of these situations, seriously consider that these benefits are there for you for this very reason, by law. Mm-hmm. It's not gaming the system. And if you have questions, reach out. We're happy to talk to you. There's no obligation to talk to somebody, and sort of just understand the lay of the land. Understand these are my rights. Okay, I'll think about it. That's fine. If you don't want to do it, that's fine too. You don't have to. But you should know that this option is there for you if you're injured.
Okay. Wow, that's a lot of takeaways in this episode. So we really appreciate you and your firm and all that you do in support of POPA. So thank you for coming out.
My pleasure, Steve. Right. Thank you so much for having me.
Okay. And that concludes this episode with Justin Feldman, and we'll see you next time, folks.